What's good? It's David Andrew Wiebe, and today I wanted to talk about a specific book, The Official Get-Rich Guide to Information Marketing by Robert Skrob. Now there's a name that rolls off the tongue. In the past, I've talked a little bit about Russell Brunson's Secrets trilogy, and I think it's a great trilogy. There's a lot of fantastic information in those books to help you with your online marketing journey. But at times, you may find yourself a little bit overwhelmed with all the information that Russell provides. His frameworks are quite extensive, and the starting point in his trilogy is .com Secrets, which talks about all the different types of funnels. There's some other important information in there, like how to build your attractive character and so forth. But at the end of the day, the sheer number of funnels introduced in that book are just mind-boggling. To me, Expert Secrets is really the most overwhelming book of all. The webinar script, I don't know how he proposes anyone put together a perfect webinar script. It gets kind of insane. So anyway, you're thinking to yourself, I gotta master all of this information if I want to build any kind of information marketing business. Well, it simply isn't true. And I would suggest that going back to this book we're talking about today, The Official Get-Rich Guide to Information Marketing, is an excellent place to start. You can bypass a lot of the confusion, a lot of the complexity, and a lot of the nuance that Russell seems to go deep on, even when it's not necessarily to the reader's advantage. I get that he wants to dump everything he could possibly say about what he knows about succeeding online, but it just gets to be too much at certain points. Now, this book has some introductory sections talking a little bit about what you can expect if you get into the information marketing business, how you would make money, how much money you can expect to make, things like that. Then it moves into probably the four biggest sections of the book on how to launch your business. Now, traditionally, when you think about a free video launch or something like that, basically you introduce the offer, you tease the offer, and then you make the offer available to the people that you're talking to. And then you just market endlessly through as many channels as you possibly can while you've got the energy to do it. Robert Skrob's method in this book would allow you to launch your business, not just launch it, but actually have it sustainable after the launch, because you'll have repeat business if you build your business the way that he suggests. So the four types of launches include a teleseminar series, joint ventures, diagnostic surveys, and 3-day event. Now, he had me at teleseminar series. This one makes the most sense to me. Basically, with a teleseminar series, you would book the event, you would invite people to come, you'd have them pay a small amount of money to join in, and if you find that you get a lot of interest, you've got a niche that works. And if there's no interest whatsoever, you can easily and quickly pivot and try something else. And that's one of the things I really like about the method discussed in this book. And then towards the end of the book, there's some chapters on social media, mindset, legalities, things like that. And this is super generous as far as I'm concerned to have so many sections covering different topics that you might need to and want to know about as an information marketer. And now for some of the downsides of the book. This book is over 10 years old now. And the reason that's a little bit of an issue is because not necessarily that the information is outdated, just that any of the supporting links are outdated. Most of them you can't even go to, or a page doesn't exist, or someone has bought up the domain name and parked or put something else up there. But overall, honestly, I still find the information very relevant today. Now, I looked at a couple of Amazon reviews before and after checking out this book for myself, and there were some funny things that got thrown around. One point that was raised was the fact that, the book cover looks a lot like something that Dan Kennedy would put out, and therefore it must be packed with the same amount of information that a Dan Kennedy book would contain. And they went on to complain about how the introductory chapters are basically just call to actions and sales offers and things like that. Well, look, in the introductory chapters, yes, there's a few call to actions. Yes, there's a few, hey, check this out, you might want this supplementary resource, things like that. But once it gets into the content is phenomenal. It is super detailed, it is rich with great insights. I took away 4 or 5 gems. If you're new to this industry, you're gonna have a lot more takeaways. Honestly, I'd recommend reading this first before you even bother checking out Russell Brunson's Secrets trilogy. Why? Because I think Russell got some of his ideas from this book. And as for whether or not this is actually a Dan Kennedy book or something that's on par with what Dan writes, an astute reader will probably pick up that if this book wasn't written with Dan's direct involvement. It was probably ghostwritten by him. By his own admission, he writes multiple books per year, and one or two of those are ghostwritten. I'm not here to out anybody, but it just seems to me like Dan's fingerprints are all over this book. And at one point towards the end, I don't remember the exact sentence, but he says something about, I've covered this in detail in some of my other courses. Seems to refer directly to Dan Kennedy's courses, not Robert Skrob's. Alright, well thanks for watching. I hope you got something out of this. Check out the book, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you later.
Thanks for listening. The opening theme, closing theme, and closing segment ambient music was created by Brian Bob Young. If other music was used in this episode, it's credited in the show notes at musicentrepreneurhq.com. Please leave us a rating and review in iTunes to help us spread the word about the show.